Hello everyone, welcome to Simply Speaking, a podcast where I delve into topics surrounding life experiences and popular trends while analyzing human behavior. I'm your host, Fifi Hudson. I'll be uploading new episodes every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. So today's topic is centered around friendship. So I just want to discuss what friendship is really all about and different aspects of friendship and categorizing friendships. And maybe somebody will learn something or it'll be interesting to them. If not, it's totally cool. Let's get into it. So why did I choose this topic? I chose to discuss friendships because it's always been important in my life, especially as I get older. I'm learning about which friendships to prioritize and which ones to let go. I'm also learning about who's really a friend, and especially for life, and who's a friend only for a moment. And I'm hoping that my personal experiences and my opinion and my feedback on friendships can be of use to somebody else. So what do I define as friendship? Well, friendship is a platonic relationship between two people that occurs because of common interests, values, and principles, or simply born out of convenience. Alrighty, so what are the categories of friendship? There are acquaintances, casual friendships, close friendships, and best friendships or bona fide friendships. So for acquaintances, people you might meet in passing, you don't know much about them, occasionally interact from time to time, but don't necessarily go out of one's way to hang out or interact. It's just like when you see them, you see them. So you'll see them at school, at work, if you have on a sports team together, at some club together, extracurricular activity, volunteering, etc. Those are where you'll see your acquaintances. Then you have your casual friendships, which usually arise out of common interests or places where you both will frequent, and both parties, they may choose to share some information about themselves to each other, may or may not, but it's very focused focused on what the activity is about. So you have your social group of friends that usually are casual friends. You guys like to play sports. You guys like to play music. You guys like to go to the movies. And that also falls in with activity friends, another subgroup. So a specific activity that you like doing: knitting, sewing, book club. So your friendship is focused around the activity you both enjoy. There's also friends of convenience. So you might be assigned to work together on a project, and then you end up becoming friends from that because it's convenient to do so. Or you both sign up for a club and you don't know anybody there, so you just decide, hey, let's be friends, and go from there. Those are friendships of convenience. Then we have our close friendships, which are a bit deeper, and they form when we bond over, personal experiences or circumstances. And sometimes they last for only a season, but sometimes they last for years to come. And then you have your best or bona fide friendships, which are usually lifelong, or at least for several years. It's similar to close friendships, but it's even deeper. There's obviously open and honest communication and respect of the highest order. In these friendships, people are willing to do anything, or pretty much almost anything, for each other. So Aristotle, that good old philosopher, he categorizes friendships as ones of utility, pleasure, or of the good. So friendships of utility occur because one person is useful to another in some way. So this usually falls under the acquaintance or casual friends category. Then you have friendships of pleasure because both parties enjoy each other's company, and that would fall under pretty much any category, maybe with the exception of acquaintances, maybe. And even then, you can still enjoy each other's company. Then there's friendships with the good, so based on mutual respect and admiration. So this would be more so for close friendships or best friends / bona fide friends. So, yeah, Aristotle was onto something. And in terms of the structure of friendships, you have your tight-knit group of friends, so like relatively good-sized group of friends, could be large or small, but everybody's friends with each other. You have your separate groups of friends, so people like will compartmentalize or separate themselves. So you might have friends at church, you might have friends at work, you might have friends in your neighborhood, etc., etc. And then you have your one-on-one friendships, which I would like to think a lot of introverts would probably prefer this. So it's just the two of you just hanging out, doing things together, and that sort of thing. And yeah, I've experienced pretty much all of these. So we're going to get into that more. So what are the aspects of friendships? There's some key qualities or character traits that people really should possess in their friendships. So I'll go through a list that I researched and that I came up with. So first one would be, I would say, love. Not necessarily romantic love, but just a general love of each other, of human beings, of humanity, that, agape love. And it's not just an emotion or a feeling, it's action. So showing you care through action, to me, that is love. Then there is trust, the next one, which is a huge one. So you have to have confidence in each other. Believe that the other person will have your back. Like, believing in the other person, that is trust. Believing in what they say, believing in their actions, that is trust. The next one is honesty. So speaking the truth, and not just speaking the truth when it sounds pretty, but speaking the truth when it doesn't sound so nice. And speaking from the heart, honesty. Next one is respect. So honoring each other, putting each other in high regard, I would say, is respect, and keeping appropriate boundaries that are set. So if I don't want you calling me at 3 a.m., don't call me at 3 a.m. If I don't like certain jokes that you want to make, don't make certain jokes. Just respect. Then there's support. Being there for each other, whether it's you're going through a good time or whether you're going through a bad time, and offering help to one another. So when your friend is hurting because a family member passed away, show up to their house, be there with them, make them some food. That's support. So another one would be kindness. So to me, kindness falls under acts of service. It's an action as well. Kindness is not just a feeling, it's an action. Acts of service, going out of one's way, would be showing kindness, and exercising compassion. So if they're having a rough time, exercise compassion, and don't penalize your friend because they're having a rough time. Like if, for example, you were set to hang out, but hey, family member died and they're not in a good place to be able to go to wherever you guys are supposed to go. You exercising compassion would be seeing their situation for what it is and rescheduling or going to their house immediately to offer them support. Then there is loyalty. So I think this also falls with having each other's back. Don't be easily swayed against each other. So if somebody says a rumor to you about your friend, are you going to believe it right off the bat? Or are you going to look at all the facts? And also, if it's true, are you going to allow that to destroy your friendship? Because not everybody, even if it's the truth and they want to pass on certain information to you, not everybody has the greatest intentions. So don't be easily swayed against your friend. be loyal. Then there is encouragement. That's another huge aspect of friendship. So showing support. So if your friend is working on a project and they need your help them. That's a form of encouragement, is help. You know that your friend is a really good singer, it's their first show. Show up to their show, bring them flowers. That's being encouraging. And also saying the words like, wow, that was really good, especially if they were actually good. Tell them that they were good. Or highlight the positives. That's encouragement. Highlighting the positives. What else? On my list, we have reliability. So doing what you say you're going to do and saying what you actually mean. Reliability. Always following through. Yes, reliability. Being there when they need you and when they don't need you. Reliability. And consistency ties into reliability because you're constantly showing up. You're setting a regular pattern or routines. Your friend knows on Wednesdays they're always going to call me. On Thursdays we're always going to hang out at the coffee shop. On Saturdays we're always going to go to church together. Consistencies. And patience, that's the second last one. I'm not quite done. One more after this. Patience. Taking one's time with the other person. So if you know the person is slower to catch on to certain things, exercise patience. Just take your time and recognize where they're at. Wait on them to get to the level where they need to be. So, for example, what's a good example of this? You are working together on a project and you chose to work on this project with your friend and they don't have their part of the project done yet. Exercise some patience. You exercise some patience and give them grace and a grace period to get in what they need. You exercise patience when there's certain little things that you notice or you care about, but they haven't really noticed that. It's not necessarily on their radar. Exercise some patience, and maybe when it's an appropriate time, allow it to be a teaching moment and bring it up, being like, hey, I really like doing this for others, and I really like it when it's done reciprocated to me. And then list the specific scenario. All of that is a part of exercising patience. And the last one is empathy. Placing yourself in another person's shoes. Understanding their circumstances, whether you went through them or not. That is empathy. So you know that your friend lost their job. Don't be trying to go to this restaurant, this bar, this show, this play, this sporting event, and spending all this money. Be okay with spending time at home, watching a movie together, going for a walk, doing things that are free, being empathetic to their situation of financial difficulty, and not just doing all these other stuff just because, hey, I want to do that. I've been saving for it for months. Just exercise some empathy there. So those are all important aspects of friendship. Love, trust, honesty, respect, support, kindness, loyalty, encouragement, reliability, consistency, patience, and empathy. All of these are extremely important aspects of friendship. So, why is friendship important? Well, number one, humans need interaction. There's a saying that says, no man is an island. So, lack of friends can lead to serious isolation, which will lead to unhappiness, depression, anxiety, and a whole bunch of other mental health issues. People need people, so human interaction is very important. So friendship is important. Number 2, improvement of social skills, getting more comfortable speaking around others. If you're super shy, super reserved, going out of your way to make friends will help you in the long run, overall, with your other relationships. For motivation and inspiration, there are going to be friends who are encouraging you, who are inspiring you by what they're doing, and it'll help motivate you to improve your life and the things that you want to do. If you see a friend starting a business, that can motivate you to start your own business, especially if you have a skill that is in demand. What else? Learning new things and stepping outside of one's comfort zone. There's a lot of friends who will encourage you to try new things, like maybe going skydiving or some extreme sport, or you've never been to the beach, going to the beach, or you've never traveled to China, you want to travel to China, going to China. Just different activities. Friends can help you step outside of your comfort zone and try new things. So you could definitely use friendship for that. Last, but I guess technically not least, I would say the 5th and final would be building one's personal network. So in terms of your career and just building connections that way, friendships are important because your friends will know somebody who knows somebody who can get you a job or who can recommend your services if you have your own business. Also building your social media and your social media brand. Some friends can be helpful in that way as well, especially because everybody is now on social media trying to make some money. So yeah, those are the reasons why friendships are important. So with all that being said, let's get into my personal experiences. So for me, I've had all kinds of friendships. I've had acquaintances, I had the casual friends, I had close friends, I've had my best friends and bona fide friends. So starting from when I was young, elementary school, there were separate groups of friends and there were tight-knit groups of friends as well. And I would say they would fall under the casual and close categories. So at recess, it would always be like the tight-knit groups hanging out together and very little fluctuation. But I was, I guess, the exception to the norm because I would have multiple clusters of friends. I'd have my main core group of friends, and I'd have a couple other clusters of friends. So when I am tired of the main core group of friends, I would move on to the other clusters of friends. That happened a lot in elementary school. But also with the tight-knit groups, kids, they go through their phases where they decide that they want to dislike one person out of the group, and they create drama where there's no drama. And yeah, that happened to me. But life goes on, you grow and you learn. But yeah, that was elementary school. In high school, there was a giant group of friends because we were all in the same program. So it was like friends of convenience and activities friends, those categories. And some of them were close. Actually, only a couple of them were close, and then the rest were pretty casual. And from out of the giant group of friends formed this one tight-knit group of friends that I had personally. And yeah, we are still friends to this day, which is good. And I forgot to add, in elementary school, I have one friend to this day who still is there for me. So I'm grateful for that Then I got to university, and it was a lot of casual friends or just activities friends because of common interests or like similar classes. And so there's like a lot of academic friends, and we just clung to each other for our class, and then we went our separate ways after. But in university, I found that there was way more one-on-one, where I'd hang out with people by ourselves. We do things together by ourselves. Sometimes there was groups and clusters because we had mutual friends, so we'd all hang out, but there was a lot of one-on-one interaction. And from university, I found my best friend, and yeah, this is the first best friend I had, which is weird, a weird thing to say, but yeah. So that has been my relationships from when I was young until after university, and now I still have my one best friend even after graduation. But graduation wasn't that long ago, so yeah, this is the progression of friendship throughout my life, so to speak. So, what have I learned from all of this? I've learned, one thing I've learned is when the activity or common interest is over, let the friend go. Just let them go. Don't try to force anything. If people are interested, they'll continue talking to you, but if not, then it is what it is. Second thing, if you're putting in like a lot of effort and it's not really being reciprocated, try pulling back a little bit, and seeing how the person responds, because if it's not even on their radar, then it's probably not worth it to continue. That's one thing that I learned. Another very important thing that I learned is if you want to make friends, show yourself friendly. I learned this in elementary school. This is a proverb from the Bible, Proverbs 18 verse 24. Making friends, you got to be friendly yourself. And I found that as I got older and we got more serious, my personality, it was hard to make friends, especially because I always had a serious expression on my face absentmindedly. So yeah, just smiling, being pleasant, looking approachable will definitely help you get more friends. Another thing, friends are chosen family. They really are, because a lot of my friends in these last few years, they've really come through for me in ways that I didn't really see happening. See coming, I should say, not happening, but coming. But they really came through for me in such great ways. Especially during this pandemic, there was a lot that happened, and they were there to support me and see me through, and it was really nice and really appreciated. And yeah, those are some of the main things that I have learned. So to summarize, friendship is platonic and occurs out of convenience or things that both parties have in common. Friends can be very casual or super, super close for a season or for a lifetime. Friendships can be shared amongst large groups or one-on-one. Love, trust, honesty, respect, support, kindness, loyalty, encouragement, reliability, consistency, patience, and empathy are key aspects of friendship. And lastly, friendship is necessary for good mental health, improving one's social skills, motivation and inspiration, to learning new things or stepping outside of one's comfort zone, and building one's personal network. That is all for today's episode 1, which is part 1 of our friendship series. And please tune in next week for part 2, where we're going to be talking about how people can make friends. This ends our first episode of Simply Speaking. I'm your host, Fifi Hudson. Thank you for listening. See you all soon.